I said I'm back for more. I'm boxing's ambassador. Let's get it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. And the beat plays on. Boxing's ambassador. Let's get it. What up, Fight World? Man, we having a chill. It's Sunday. I'm chilling. So we having a chill day. I felt like doing another live because this is easy for me. My job is easy. Y'all let me get paid the big bucks off the easy work. So, I just felt like doing another live, so I do what I want. I get on here and do what I want. And I still got more to say, so I took me a little break. But I do what I want. I do what I want. So we're going to talk more about this Errol Spence Ugas situation. Great fight, by the way. Great fight. Smash the like button. My name is Ego. I'm your host. What's up? Happy Sunday. Sunday fun day. Weather's not that greatest. I got some errands, but I don't really want to run them right now because, D-Mote, what's up? Business Brain, what's up? He gonna clap y'all silly. Y'all gonna get back down silly, smacked up silly. We got shooters in here, Daquandre, D-Moten, Darius. Where the bud stands at, bro, I'm punishing them. Listen, I'm punishing them. I'm here to speak the truth, so help me God. I'm here to speak the truth. I don't care about nothing else in this boxing game but speaking the truth and getting my points across as I see it, And we'll jump in the mix in a second. YouTube ain't sending notifications out, so if you guys could throw a like, we gotta beat this algorithm together. So throw a like on the video. I already see it. I'm ready to go. I don't feel like waiting. I'm off the leash. I'm like a pit bull off the leash. I'm coming. I told y'all. A lot of people said, oh, Ego, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, Ego, you're biased. Oh, Ego, you're hating. But oh, Ego is right again. I keep doing it. The greatest ever. So Errol Spence, Ugas, it's basically been announced. Now, PBC hasn't come out and announced it, but it's happening, like I told you. Errol Spence, Ugas, WBA said, oh, hey, guess what? We found a resolution that appeases all parties. Basically, it sounds like Errol Spence Ugas is happening as the main event, and the co-feature is going to be who y'all thought it was going to be, Stanionis. But y'all thought it was going to be Stanionis Ugas. I told you that wasn't happening. You stay working hard, Ego. Stay on their necks. I'm coming. I promise you. I'm coming like a porn star, and I'm not even going to pause that. That's how serious I am about mine. I promise you, we were going to close the year strong and enter 2022. It's on. It's up. I told you what I come to do. I don't play no games. I'm a man of my word. I told you we're going to end the year strong like we're doing. The haters is mad. And, we're going to talk about that. So, anywho, smash the like button. Errol Spence, Ugas, main event. Great card. Stanionis versus Butayev. Butayev impressed me versus Jamal James. Jamal James, he stopped him. No one else has stopped Jamal James, if I'm not mistaken. So Butayev's coming. Listen, Butayev's coming off a great win. Stanionis, who is undefeated, he just beat Luis Collazo. Shout out to Herbert. He said, what's up, Ego? I really uck with the channel, with the show. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you. So yeah, Butayev is like, an Isak Pitbull Cruz type of character, relentless. He came with like that relentless work that just like, dang, like Brandon Figueroa. If I look at these fighters in boxing that had that relentless work in recent memory, that off the top of my head, because I'm the best doing this, Brandon Figueroa, Isak Pitbull Cruz, and Butayev. Those are the three guys that kind of have that buzzsaw, hacksaw type of style, and they'll really grind you down if you're not prepared for it. Just with that relentless pressure. Oh, actually add Fernando Montiel. Those are the people off the top of my head this year that I can easily recall having that like hacksaw, buzzsaw type of style where it's like, man, if you get tired in there with them, you're going to be in a world full of hurt. Montiel, Isak Pitbull Cruz, Butayev, and Brandon Figueroa. Just the relentless pressure, and look pretty durable in their recent fights. So that's a great card. Now, the funny thing is, Bud Crawford fans, or whatever you want to call it, like the radical fans, because I'm a fan of Bud Crawford, whether you guys believe that or not. I'm a fan of Bud Crawford, but I'm talking about the radical maniacs and the people who said that I didn't know what I was talking about and told you that, oh, well, I guess your Dennis Ugas has to fight against Stanionis, so Errol Spence is backed into a corner and has no choice. Errol Spence has no choice but to fight Terrence Crawford. I told you that was cap, and now you see that it's cap. I'm the best ever. So, with that being said, Bud Crawford continues to be in a conundrum, a pickle in this boxing game, because he's always in this situation. And at some point you have to analyze the fighter and or the team and see, like, if something, imagine if you had a friend and every single time they go out, they get in a fight. At some point you are going to realize that, hey, maybe it's that friend. It's impossible unless you're instigating it to every time. There's people who have been on earth for 90 years and never been in a fist fight. So what is it about this person's personality that every time they go out, every time you go out drinking with them, they get in a fight with somebody? That shows you that culprit has to be that. That's the only common denominator. Again, how is it you have 90-year-old people who have never been in a fight in their life, and then every time you go out with this person randomly on a Monday, on a Tuesday, on a Thursday, they always end up getting an argument and fights? You got to look at some point, you got to start looking at common denominators. A1 Diggs, he said these 2 a days of fire. Old media, there was crying in there. I told you, I'm the nicest out. I've been this. Listen, I've been this. All the rules, I've been this. Listen, I said I'm the nicest out. I've been this. All the rules, I've been this. I don't care about no rules. I set the own rules. I run boxing. I'm the trendsetter. Never been better. Get cheddar like I got a vendetta. Let's go. So Bud keeps being in the same type of positioning where he lacks leverage, where it's like a struggle to see what his next power move will be in the welterweight division. That has to tell you something. Whether you want to face the music or not, that has to tell you something. So Errol Spence, now what's happening, the same, it's like you never see the movie trailers and it says from the people who brought you Dumb and Dumber. Have y'all ever seen a movie like that when they're showing you a trailer from the guys that brought you, this movie, from the guys that brought you Step Brothers, from the people that brought The Departed, right? And it is telling you like, this is from the same writers, from the guys that brought you Good Will Hunting. You've seen that, right? So from the guys that consistently get it wrong in boxing and told you that Ugas was going to fight Stanionis, now from that same team of people, from the creators that told you Ugas was fighting Stanionis and Errol Spence was trapped and Errol Spence is going to have to fight Crawford next. Now we hear the commotion is somehow, some way, less ish on Errol Spence versus Ugas. That's not a quality fight. You can't make this stuff up. And ironically enough, this is exactly what the great Ego Stradamus predicted. Now, all of a sudden, boxing has a bunch of beta males who act like little spoiled brats and babies. When they don't get their way, they throw public temper tantrums and smear campaigns. Now let's pretend that Errol Spence is ducking Terrence Crawford and he's in a bad fight with Ugas because you, the beta males, the racists, old media, and the spoiled rotten fans that act like little kids didn't get your way, and Crawford's decisions have now caught up with him and he doesn't get his way. Let's pretend that Errol Spence and Ugas is a terrible fight. You can't make this up. From the people that brought you them other lies, now they're trying to flip it because the information came out that Boxing Ego was accurate. So let's now try to cop a squat and somehow make it look like Errol Spence versus Ugas is a poor fight. Bro, listen. I'ma destroy I'm going to destroy until there's nothing left. I promise you, I'm that good. I'm going to destroy you. You can't beat me when it comes to these talking points. Business brain. Touche. He said now Crawford can finalize that MTK deal and then continue to tell people how Errol's ducking him and I tried to make the fight and I wanted to fight Errol just like you wanted to fight Pacquiao. And for some reason, ask yourself these questions. Pacquiao leaves Top Rank. Cap or fact? Pacquiao, before he retired, left Top Rank. Is that cap or fact? Listen, I promise you, there's no resistance is futile. It's futile to go against what I'm saying. I'm the best and I'm hitting you with receipts and facts. Before he retired, Manny Pacquiao left Top Rank. Is that cap or fact? Okay, Kane says it's facts. Okay, big facts. How on earth did Adrian Broner, who had already lost to Marcos Maidana, who had already lost to Sean Porter, who had already lost arguably to Granado, some people thought, who had already lost to Mikey Garcia, Pacquiao's first fight is Adrian Broner. Now, I get it. Adrian Broner's a name. I went to the fight. I covered it, blah, blah, blah. It made sense business-wise, and it was big enough names. It's an introductory fight for Pacquiao. Pacquiao won. How did Broner, some people would argue at that particular point of his career, maybe he didn't deserve Pacquiao because he had recent losses to Mikey Garcia, close fights to Jesse Vargas, blah, 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 right? He still got the fight before Crawford. Keith Thurman, he had these fits with inactivity and get back years, still got the fight before Crawford. Errol Spence, y'all say he's chicken and he's ducking, still got the fight before Crawford. The only reason Errol Spence Jr. didn't fight Pacquiao is, as we all know, his eye was messed up. So they gave it, and your Dennis Ugas out of Cuba, a guy who defected, doesn't even speak English, still got the fight before Terrence Crawford. So what's wrong with this picture? Boop. What's wrong with this picture? Top Rank had Manny Pacquiao for several years, and they had Terrence Crawford for several years, and they never fought. Boop. That part. I'm the best out. I'm the best that's ever lived. When it comes to boxing in this digital space, you're not going to prove me wrong unless you lie. The only way you could prove me wrong is if you lie, because I'm not out here lying and I'm telling the truth. So the only way you could defeat me is through a lie. You have to try to force feed and, sell some kind of dream of something that didn't happen. That's exactly what happened. So you have to ask yourself, how did 4 people with PBC under the guidance of Al Heyman get the Pacquiao fight, and Bud's team was saying that they had the Pacquiao fight or were going to get it for 8 years, and it never happened? Oh. Explain it. If I'm wrong, y'all go, listen, I'm always going to go out with a fight. Explain how I'm wrong. Explain how Bud wasn't on Top Rank with Manny Pacquiao and they never fought. And they kept telling you they was going to fight, and Bud said he wanted it. Bo Mac said he wanted it. The fight never happened. Why? But Broner, I beat that boy. He could get the fight with Pacquiao. Keith Thurman got the fight with Pacquiao. Ugas and Errol got the fight with Pacquiao. Okay. Yeah, y'all gonna explain. I'm waiting. Tell me how I'm lying, like y'all always do, because y'all can't handle the truth. How? Now, fast forward to the future, Errol Spence doing what he said he was going to do, clean up his side of the street. Y'all mad at Errol and trying to denigrate the Ugas fight. Listen, I'm going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. But when I hurt people's feelings, I'm hurting your feelings with facts. Your feelings is soft to me. Y'all soft, y'all terry cloths. Y'all too soft. You getting your feelings hurt because what I'm saying is true and you can't accept it. So for example, let's listen. For example, I'm going to ask you, listen, y'all better not play with me. Y'all better not play. Don't lie to me. Y'all better not play. I ain't come to play no games. If it's y'all versus me, the people who are the detractors and naysayers, then let's go. Let's bet it. I'm ready to risk it all. Let's go. I'm with that. Block WBCK. You should have remained silent. Now you remain nameless. Get him out of my chat. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Don't lie to me. Who got a better welterweight? Listen, don't lie to me. Who got a better welterweight resume? Meaning they fought guys at prime times or better events or better, better moments for that fighter's career. Your Dennis Ugas or Terrence Crawford? Answer in the comment section. Don't lie to me. Who got a better welterweight resume? Your Dennis Ugas or Terrence Crawford? And depending on what you say, I may call on you to explain. All right, Free Willis. They fell for the mousetrap. They fell for the mousetrap. They fell for them. I couldn't wait for you. All right. We got a hot seat. Free Willis. Free Willis. And Enrique. Y'all get 2 for the price of 1. 2 people said Crawford got a better welterweight resume than Ugas. Willis finna die. Oh my God. Bro, listen. When I spit this, I know they feel this. He finna die hard like Bruce Willis. If his name is Willis, I'm gonna make sure you feel this. But at the end, I'm gonna make sure he die hard like Bruce Willis. Y'all better stop playing. I'm back with a vengeance. I'm back to end this. I'm back to business. Business brain, hold me down. All right. I got 2. The shooters, do not block them. Anybody who blocks them before I say will lose their badge right on the spot. Do not block Free Willis and do not block Enrique until I give the word. Out of everybody, 2 people said Crawford had a better resume. I'm doing a double hot seat. Free Willis, what's your reasoning? He said, who got their belt first at welterweight? What does that mean? So his argument is Terrence Crawford has a better resume because he got his belt before Ugas got his belt. Does that make any sense? Y'all let me know in the comment section. Does that make any sense? So you're saying guy A has a better resume because he got his belt before the other guy. But then the same fans say Wilder sucks and they propped up Joshua and Wilder got his belt before Anthony Joshua. Makes no sense. So I'm gonna let the fans vote. Does that explain what I asked for? Is that a good explanation of how Crawford? I'm gonna let the fans vote. Shooters, do not block this man. How he says Bud got his belt in his first welterweight fight. How does that give you a better resume? Because you fought a guy who really didn't beat Pacquiao and there was a robbery or a controversy. That is it because his first fight was a belt fight? Come on, bro. I'm gonna let the fans vote. I'm not even wasting no more time. I'm gonna let the fans vote. He's saying that Crawford has a better resume at welterweight because his first fight was a Jeff Horn belt fight. Listen, thumbs up if he stays. We doing it Roman Gladiator style. If you think his response earns him a stay, thumb up with the emoji. If his response doesn't, and shooters, do not block him until I give the word. If he answered good, put thumbs up. If he didn't, put thumbs down. Okay, thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs. Let's keep going. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Did he answer the question? And do not block him. Kane said, you too stupid for boxing. Shooters, do not hold your fire. Hold your fire. Thumbs down. Listen, we doing a real life hot seat. That's why I cannot have shooters jump the gun. Okay, the people have spoken. Shooters, get Free Willis out of here. Oh my gosh. Now you can shooters blast him. Whoever gets him, gets him. He out of here. Get him out of here, bro. Oh, I told you, man. His argument is Terrence Crawford had a better resume because his first fight was for a title. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense. Jeff Horn really lost to Pacquiao and Ugas just beat Pacquiao. So who cares if Ugas didn't get a belt till the Pacquiao fight, because he really beat Porter before Crawford. In politics, they didn't give him the win. They didn't give him the knockdown. So we know how boxing works. So that's by far one of the dumbest. Now, Enrique, you've been in here sleeping. Enrique, you got 10 seconds to explain how Crawford has a bet. Enrique Ayala. Okay. Oh, hold on. Enrique Ayala responded. Crawford has a better, listen to how stupid these dudes are. He says, I said, the question, everybody heard it. I said, how does Terrence Crawford have a better welterweight resume? Everybody heard the question. His response, because Crawford fought Gamboa, Amir Khan, Kell Brook, and now Porter. Gamboa was not even at welterweight. It wasn't even at 140. He fought him at 35. So that's strike one. You said Crawford has a better welterweight resume because he fought Gamboa in 2014. Oh man, I told you the beta male emotions is crazy. And then he says Crawford has a better resume than Ugas because he beat Amir Khan after Danny Garcia had already decimated him and Canelo had blasted this man's face off with one punch. Then he beat Kell Brook in 2020. So he has a better resume than Ugas because he beat Kell Brook and Kell Brook hadn't made welterweight in 3 years. Block him. Shooters, get him out of here. And then he fought Porter on his last fight. All right. Shooters, block him. Bro. Get Enrique Ayala out of here. I want y'all to search every in-house, out-house, dog-house until, oh, Business Brain. Bro, I told you Business Brain be in the trenches. He found them. Yeah. You see, listen, they want me to be wrong so bad that they're willing to lie. Or they just don't. So back to it. The question was simple. Who has a better welterweight resume? It's not even a trick question. Who has a better welterweight resume, Ugas or Crawford? Two people said Crawford, and we just seen what happened to them. You know Ugas got a better resume. He fought an earlier version of Sean Porter before he was preoccupied with podcasting and doing talk shows and all that, and he just beat Pacquiao. There's no win on Crawford's whole career resume that trumps Pacquiao. You understand that? I am punishing these dudes. Crawford in his whole entire career does not have one resume name that rivals Manny Pacquiao. And if he does, then you tell me, Gamboa accomplished more in his career than Pacquiao? And the same people hated when Tank fought Gamboa. Oh, why is Tank fighting Gamboa? He sucks. Oh, this is looking bad, y'all. It's looking bad, bro. And the same fan, this is how I know they angry. It's crying over spilt milk. He said Jeff Horn. Come on, bro. This is how I know they angry, because if Crawford fought Ugas next, nobody would complain. Errol Spence and a PBC fighter do an in-house PBC fight, everybody complain. Listen, cap or fact, if coming off of the Manny Pacquiao win, if Crawford had the business savvy to get Ugas next, nobody would complain and say it was a terrible fight. Is that cap or fact? Listen, be honest with yourself. If coming off of the Manny Pacquiao victory, where he's a champion, if Bud was to unify with Ugas next, these same people that are now trying to hate on Errol Spence because he made the right moves and it's an easy fight for him to get in his, section. So if Bud were able to fight a quality guy like Ugas directly off of his best career win in his whole life and unify as a champion, if Bud got the fight, none of these same people would be arguing that it's a terrible fight. They're only saying it's a terrible fight because Big Fish is the big fish. And while Crawford's trying to deep sea dive for a big fight, Big Fish got the big fight. That's why y'all hating. Listen, I'm telling you my own words. If Crawford got somebody as good as Ugas, who looked as sharp as Ugas, and just retired a Hall of Famer, a guaranteed Hall of Famer like Pacquiao, I would be like, congrats, Crawford made some beast moves and he got a great fighter. I would say the same exact thing. If Crawford were able to have secured the fight, my passage would be, I would never hate on that fight. I would never hate on that fight and say Crawford is fighting a bum or it's a bad fight. Nobody want. I would never do that. And y'all know that. But I'm here to speak the truth in reality. And the reality is Crawford didn't get the fight. He didn't make the necessary move. His team didn't get the fight. That's the reality. I would not say anything bad if Crawford got it, because Ugas is a top rated guy. He's a champion. How could he not be top? Y'all like belts so much. Come on, man. Give me some better work. Crawford beat a guy with 45 losses. Nah, what? What are y'all talking about? He said, nah, you tripping. Dink is out here tripping. He said Crawford beat a guy with 45 losses and 25 losses. That must have been a long time ago or something. I don't remember that, bro. That man, he said 45 losses. Hey, you gotta give me their names or something. I don't know who that is. That man said 45 losses. That's hilarious though. Y'all tripping. Bro, he said they fought a man with 45 L's. Bro, that's a prison sentence, 45 to life. If you got 45 L's, you got to go to prison. And boxing is not it for you. Bro, if you got 25 L's, that's 25 to life. You go to prison. Bro, boxing is not yours. You better rob some banks or something. Ego, you are being too intolerant and you shouldn't be eating. Block him. You gonna tell me not to eat on my channel? I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna smack in y'all ear. What you gonna do? He said I'm being too intolerant and I shouldn't eat. That's cute. Block him. Yeah, get him out of my face as well. Yeah, I'm lactose intolerant because you milking it. That man said I can't eat on my, bro. Let's see someone come stop me from eating on my stream. What you talking about? That's an automatic block. Y'all try to prevent me from eating. He said the boy named Arbolito. Man. Yeah, you got fried up. That sounds like some carne asada. You get that al pastor and Arbolito tacos, bro. You get put on the grill. You don't belong here, bro. You don't know what you talking about. Listen, they can't stop me from eating. Look, my boy Josh Wingfield. Okay. You blocking Ugas, you corny clown. Okay. Now you block. You join them in the graveyard. Oh, bro, I'm not trying to be your friend. I don't want to be your buddy. My buddy, wherever he go, my buddy. Bro, they can't stay away from the channel, but they hate the channel. Makes a lot of sense, huh? Listen, anyway, we got $10 from Joshua Wingfield. Y'all can't stop me from eating. There's no message, but appreciate you. $10 in the Cash App. Thank you. Shout out to you. My man Prophet, LOL. Who am I watching on my TV and saw that comment and had to get on the chat and my phone to block him? But you read it out and they got They got him first. We in here. See, that's what I'm saying. They just saying whatever, bro. Shout out to Joshua. He said he just supporting. Appreciate you. Shout out to Jose Rodriguez. He sent $5 in the cash. Oh man, payday. You want payday?
Hey, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Payday, payday. You want payday? I know that.
We getting them paydays. I'm looking like baby Canelo. Boxing Ego watch party was a smash hit. Back to Crawford. The same fans that are now telling you Errol Spence versus Ugas is a terrible fight and Errol's ducking and stuff would not say anything if Ugas and Crawford were fighting next. That's a reality. That's a reality. There's nothing. It's a great fight. Listen, okay. That's like you hate Deontay Wilder. So if Wilder fights Fury, it's a horrible fight. But you were down for Anthony Joshua versus Fury? That don't make no sense. Either Fury is a great opponent or he's not. You can't say, oh, Joshua versus Fury is a top quality fight, but Wilder trying to get his belt back is a horrible fight. You see what I'm saying? But this is what happens when you don't make any sense. Listen, the same Crawford element and fans that are now saying that Errol Spence Ugas is horrible and horrible for boxing, don't watch it. I'll watch it, and I promise you I'm gonna do numbers. I promise you. I'm gonna watch it. See, listen, if boxing ran how I'm telling you, it would be a much smoother place. All the boxing media, all the bigots, all the old media, all of the fans that complain about every Jake Paul, complain about everything PBC does, complain about Gervonta, say Errol Spence Ugas is such a horrific fight. Don't watch it, and I'll collect that. Let me do it. I'll cover Isaac. I said Usyk, I'm tripping. I'll do the Boxing Ego watch party for Gervonta Davis, Isaac Cruz, like I did, and make the money we made and get over 100,000 views and all this crazy audience retention. I'll cover it. Y'all don't like Jake Paul? I'll cover him. Y'all don't like Errol Spence Ugas? I'll cover him. And you cover Madrimov and Lomachenko, Comey, and all this other stuff that you don't have a problem with. But they refuse to do that. They refuse to do that. They refuse to just step away. They're saying Errol Spence Ugas is horrible now, but they have no choice but to watch it because they know it's a good fight. It's a great fight. If Errol could have fought, there's been times where Ugas wasn't a champion and it was Errol Spence's mandatory, right? This is the best time for Errol to even fight Ugas because he's off a very credible win, no questions asked, where he has a belt. So this is even better than fighting Ugas, which even if Errol would have fought him years ago when he was the mandatory, it still would have been a top-rated fight. It still would have been a top-rated fight. But now this is literally the best time to fight Ugas because he's off of the best win of his whole entire career. He has some other good wins. Ray Robinson, I thought he beat Sean Porter. But in the Sean Porter fight, they said he didn't win. So Errol could have fought him next, but then he wouldn't have had a belt because they said Sean Porter fought. So Errol Spence did what you're supposed to do and fought Sean Porter because they said he won. He had the WBC belt and he got the second strap. Now he's about to go for 3 straps. And Ugas is no light touch, especially coming off an eye injury. That ain't no gimme fight, bro. And this is the thing. This is why Terrence Crawford and some of his man fans are actually hurtful to the sport of boxing. Here's why. Because they've created this conflict of Errol Spence and Crawford to the point where it's created all this animosity between the two sides. Real talk, I like Terrence Crawford and I like Errol Spence, and I think they're both talented fighters. But since the way Bud has went about his business and whatever, and what he said and what he's putting out, now there's this fake calamity and like animosity between people who like Errol Spence and who like Crawford. and to the point where they're not even speaking realistic in terms of boxing. They're trying to, I want to see Crawford, Errol Spence, so I'm going to try to berate Ugas fight. And that doesn't make sense because Ugas, he's everything a fighter should be. He left his own country in search of a better life, probably had to leave his family member, his mama or whoever. He probably had to leave people. That's a hard decision. Y'all can't even leave y'all jobs. Y'all had a job y'all hate and y'all won't even leave y'all jobs. This man left his country where that's all he knew. And he told you he was riding Ubers and, you know, taking a bus to work to work out and go to the gym. And he earned it the hard way. Top Rank, they didn't really do nothing with him. So Ugas is everything that's right with boxing. Left his country, took the massive risk. You can get in trouble trying to defect and, you know, be on some boat and illegally come over here. Left probably friends and family. Left to a country you don't know nothing about other than what you see on TV. If you can even watch TV in Cuba or get internet and everything, right? Got dropped by Top Rank after he lost. Rebuilt his career, and he got it out the mud. I'm very happy that Ugas is getting an opportunity. Win, lose, or draw, that is the American dream, people. Look, I said, D. Moten said the same thing. We said at the same time. That's the American dream. Same thing with Errol Spence. The man made mistakes. He flew out a car and then bounced back like a movie or something. So I'm happy for both those brothers, man. That's just real talk. That's what boxing should be about. These triumphant, you know, underdog stories. So Errol has an underdog story, and so does Ugas. Ugas retired Pacquiao. Where's his respect? That's what I'm saying. But instead, because of this foul energy that Crawford man fans have tried to, you know, come up with, they're trying to diss Errol and diss meaningful fights and diss Ugas, and none of that's needed because, truth be told, Ugas beat Porter. Sean Porter, in my honest opinion, Sean Porter lost to Ugas and lost to Errol. So he had 2 back-to-back losses in my mind, a rational boxing mind, and Crawford fought him years after that when he was inactive and on his last fight and, you know, pretty much venturing off to do commentary stuff. That's the reality. But you got people trying to stretch the truth to try to make Crawford look good. They're trying to make Crawford look good and make Errol look bad. And in the interim, you look bad because you're not being realistic. Ugas had Ugas looks sharper in the totality of his fight with Pacquiao than Bud Crawford looked in the totality of his fight with Porter. Is that cap or fact? I know one ended in a stoppage and one ended in a decision, but I am of the belief that Ugas, round by round, looked dominant, more dominant and sharper versus Pacquiao, who's higher regarded than Bud Crawford was looking up to the moment of the stoppage. Is that cap or fact? I've seen more separation from Ugas against a higher rated Pacquiao than I've seen Crawford versus Porter. Okay, cap or fact? That's all y'all gotta do. Darius said, real talk, I had Sean Porter winning versus Bud until the stoppage. Me too, exactly. Like I said, these emotional beta male, inconsistent fans, guess what? They pull up these straw man arguments like, oh, Conor Ben knocked out Chris Algieri with 1 shot and Errol Spence didn't do it. But that's not even the same, because Errol Spence fought Algieri several years ago and Algieri was very inactive and really was doing commentary stuff. And then Conor Ben got him and he got him years later. So that's not even a good comparison. Ugas versus Pacquiao happened this year in the welterweight division. Bud Crawford versus Porter happened this year in the welterweight division. So I think it's easier to compare the two performances. Ugas, there was no point where I thought Pacquiao was up. I swear to you. I never seen Pacquiao up. Porter, his own team told you, they said, hey, they got him up. Bud, he's up. He's up on points. You got to turn up. And he was like, no, he ain't. No, he ain't. And they're like, Bud, he's up. And he was like, how? He arguing. And they're like, Bud, focus. That never happened. You never heard Ugas's team say, oh, Pacquiao's up, Pacquiao's up. And this is a guy who you would expect judges to be favorable to because everybody loves Pacquiao, right? And there was never a time where Ugas's corner that I remember hearing Ugas' corner saying, hey, man, you gotta put it together because you down on the scorecard. That never happened. And Ugas, again, is the American dream. He had 11 days of knowledge that he fighting Pacquiao. And he did all that. And you gonna tell me that Ugas and Errol's a bad fight? Y'all look miserable. You look like salty haters. Kamal Oz with the $10. When your Dennis Ugas fought B-side Bud in the amateurs, Ugas won in the amateurs. Oh yeah, and that's another thing. They say Ugas beat Bud in the amateurs. Since y'all love Lomachenko's amateur career so much, we talking amateurs. Ugas's resume is much better than Terrence Crawford's. Only one trashing this great fight, which I've wanted to see for years, are corporate, old media, and the haters. Exactly. Crawford is the GOAT of what, bro? Of business? Because this is what we talking about. What is he the GOAT of? He's a great fighter. So he's the GOAT, but he can't get none of the fights at any point of his welterweight career that he wants when he wants them. Okay. Y'all just be saying whatever off of emotion. I'm not telling you anything off emotion. In fact, I'm emotionless. That's why in this boxing, I use my emotion less. Ugas crushed Crawford in the amateurs 27-6. See? What are we talking about? Oh. But again, like Kamal and myself were saying, people, well-wishers, they want Bud in the lead or whatever you want to call it. So they're being delusional and lying to try to give Bud this moment of clarity and take him out of obscurity and make it look like he's in this vantage position. And you know it's not the case. Bro, listen, for one, PBC has never downed their own fighters, like talk bad about them. You can't say that for Bud's last promoter, Bob Arum. I'll pull the article out right now, destroy y'all. Business Brain, let him live. Jabari Brown. Crawford was dropped by Mean Machine. I'm just saying. Appreciate you. Mr. Michael NY. You got this right. I could have sworn you said it would happen. I said it would happen. That's accurate. Errol has done everything he said he would. Can't wait to go to the fight. Look, he already thinking about tickets. Shout out to Mr. Michael NY. Bro. And it's the same element as trying to make Errol Spence look like he's ducking. He's doing the harder chores. Bro. Well, okay, listen. I'm putting this in so many different concepts and analogies, so everybody has no choice but to bow down to me. That I'm talking that real. So, for example, what is that one chore around your house that you actually hate and despise? Like mowing the lawn, washing your car, dishes, making your bed, taking out the trash. I want to see the fans vote and y'all telling me what are the chores, and we'll see if we have any that come up frequently. What are the chores around the house that you detest doing? Okay, washing dishes. We got one for washing dishes. What is the chore, household chore? Anything around the house that you could do, that you have to do pretty frequently, that you hate doing? Laundry, washing dishes, those kind of things, sweeping, vacuuming, mopping. Y'all let me know. Lawn work, washing dishes. Cleaning the bathroom. Okay, these are good ones. These are good ones. Anybody else? Mopping. Okay, good. All right, we'll use that. Cleaning the shower. All right, we're good. Errol Spence has been cleaning a bigger house, mopping, doing the dishes, sweeping, having to take out the trash, doing his laundry in a bigger house. In a bigger house. He's been doing those productive chores that y'all are saying y'all hate. Khalil said paying bills, and he's been paying the bills, making sure the lights are on, making sure the electricity, PG&E, blah, blah, blah. Terrence Crawford is in a smaller house, and he has not been doing all of those hard chores, right? Who would deserve more credit? The guy in the bigger house doing all of the productive chores that y'all are saying y'all hate, sweeping, mopping, laundry, frequently doing the dishes, mowing the lawn. Or Terrence Crawford, who's in a smaller house and he's not doing the yard work. He's not raking. He's not mowing the lawn and the leaves. You know, the person that would get more credit in any real world outside of boxing, where all y'all do is use your emotions, you would give more credit to the guy in a bigger house who's keeping up with his lawn, who's keeping up with his dishes, who does laundry every Sunday and folds his laundry. All the stuff y'all saying y'all hate. Crawford, he's leaving messes on the counter, and then sometimes he's cleaning the kitchen, but sometimes he's not. He's not emptying out the fridge and wiping it down. That's how his career has played out at the welterweight division. He said, but Crawford is still the first one at the dinner table. Exactly. That it doesn't work. If you separate your emotions and try to put your mind frame into the analogy I'm giving, you'll be able to understand it doesn't work. Life doesn't work like that. Errol Spence has been doing the upkeep and doing the harder chores and the heavier lifting in a bigger house. He's big fish. It's that simple. Crawford, he's been doing some chores. The chores that, you know, wrapping up his controllers or something. But it's like you don't get the same credit. You know, or if your parents and you're giving an allowance, this kid is getting all straight A's and doing all of his chores, and then this kid, his grades are spotty, and he got some D's and C's in there, maybe even an F, in there. You know what I mean? And he get the same allowance? No, it doesn't work like that. But y'all want it to work like that out of like affinity for Bud. It's just, that's not realistic, bro. Kamal Oz, $10. Kamal finna cook you. I don't even have to read what he's saying, but I know he's gonna cook you. Ugas is the definition of American dream. Facts. He defected from Cuba and he overcame adversity, rebuilt his entire career, was humble, worked hard, listened to Al Heyman, while B-side Bud is very prideful and he's a delusional individual. See? The truth is much easier if you just embrace it. People they got this chip on their shoulder. Everyone in the world's against Bud. Bro, a lot of people love Bud. But at the same time, that doesn't mean doesn't mean he's infallible and he's just perfect and nothing he does is not of question to people. You see what I'm saying? And the moment you embrace the truth, it shall set you free. But some of y'all don't want to be set free. You haters. And it's in your soul to hate. I'm not finna hate on Errol Spence doing what he said he was gonna do. I'm cleaning up my side of the street. These fights are easy to make. These individuals, Sean Porter when Errol fought him, Mikey Garcia when Errol fought him, Ocampo, Lamont Peterson, Danny Garcia, Ugas. These are already easier for obvious reasons to facilitate, right? In addition, these individuals, these B-sides are being realistic. Danny Garcia is not doing interviews saying, I want 60% and Errol only get 40. And Danny has a great resume with big events. Danny Garcia has a Barclay boxing record that I don't think anyone's even broken for highest attendance with Zab Judah, because that was like a real East Coast fight. So Danny Garcia has actual like stats. He did good numbers versus Zab Judah, Eric Morales, Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? So he actually has some stature, things that Crawford doesn't really have from a business perspective outside of Omaha. Nate, listen, I got a question for you. Name one legendary Crawford event where you think they charged the same price that they charged for Wilder tickets, Errol Spence tickets, Gervonta tickets, and it would look like it was packed and sold out. Explain. Listen, y'all gonna do some work. Explain. Name an event he had that looked more lit than like Tank East at Cruise or something. 16,000 people, and among the crowd is Carmelo and LeBron and people like that. And Tank ain't even 30 yet. Crawford like 34. Y'all name it. Outside of Omaha. He said none. Outside of Omaha. Because you're supposed to get love where you from. Tank Davis ain't from no LA, cuz. He from the opposite of LA. He from a whole nother coast. Getting love in LA. Getting LeBron to pull up. LeBron got a whole son that play basketball, family and wife, Space Jam 2 money, you know what I'm saying? LeBron don't just have to pull up to your event. Everything I'm saying is real, whether you want to embrace it or not. These are the actual factuals. So like I said, until Crawford comes down to earth, I'm not saying it like I have the power to make the fight happen or not, but I'm saying, in my opinion, if Crawford doesn't come, he getting steamrolled. If he don't come down to earth, he getting steamrolled. And he said, I don't need Errol. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see if that, because you're most likely not going to get him unless you come down to earth. It's very plain to see. And then all the people are going to be feeling sorry. Oh, Crawford, why? Why didn't he get this? Why? Crawford and Boo Boo Andrade are in very similar career spots. Notice there's no black fighter on PBC that's been invested into some level that the fans like, that ain't eating. Charlo's getting, well, how come Charlo, he getting a big fight with Castaño that y'all said he wouldn't take? Gervonta's getting big events with sellout crowds and LeBron in the crowd. Errol Spence, Ugas is finna be up. I don't know where they're gonna do it, but let's say they did it in Texas. You don't think Dallas Cowboy, Houston Texan people, Charlos and all them are finna be there? Of course they are. Errol puts big events, bro. I was in the Staples Center when he fought Sean Porter. I seen mad celebrities there. And ultimately, nobody with PBC, from Leonard Ellerby to Al Heyman to Tim Smith to Ray Flores to Brittany Goosen to Tom Brown, no one is throwing any PBC A-side or skilled great fighter under the bus saying, hey, this guy can't sell. Every time he fights, I lose money. But that's exactly what happened with Bud Crawford's career. And he didn't see that. He said, hey, I'm done. He said he seen Dr. J was at Gervonta's fight. I'm done, bro. I met Shaq and Mutombo. Bro, that's like 14 feet of player in one fight. I met Dikembe Mutombo and Shaq at Tank's fight. No kidding. I talked to Shaq for a minute. That's the reality, bro. And here's the thing is, Terrence is 33, 34, or whatever age he is. He's 34, he's not getting younger. Eddie Hearn already did an interview, said he don't want him. He said he don't want him because he said he don't have nothing for him. So that's one less option. Eddie Hearn at least get his guys paid, I guess, you know what I mean? But he said, I can't do nothing with Crawford. He gonna want too much money and we don't really have nothing that... So there's really only one place to go, but Bud Crawford being Bud Crawford, he'll probably sign with Kinahan and MTK and Pro Bellum and then be like, oh, Errol, you ducked me. But things don't happen in life on your terms. Wow, I didn't know Eddie Hearn said that. Man, do I gotta make a video about everything? I showed y'all. I showed y'all the clip. Y'all gotta watch more Ego. Y'all gotta watch more Boxing Ego. I went over all this stuff. You think Shakur is leaving next? I don't know. I don't care. God bless all of them. That's his career. Y'all asking me, like, see, now they see I get everything right. Now they asking me to predict the future. I don't know. I don't know what's in his head. I don't know who's advising him. He might like his situation. That's up to him. God bless him. Listen, when I get on the mic, I'm not what you think. This is like, I don't say stuff because I don't have a grudge against nobody in boxing. I don't hate nobody in boxing. I'm telling you what I see. You can take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I just sit around plotting, wishing for Crawford to do bad. If he does bad or makes a bad decision or doesn't get with it, that's what's happening. It's not because I got a Crawford voodoo doll and I'm sticking it every night. Pause. You see what I'm saying? But boxing fans act like stupid maniacs, and they act like I'm just out at the crib with a Crawford voodoo doll, stabbing it, hoping he does bad. You sound stupid. Like I'm Chucky or something. No, John, you shouldn't leave your dolls hanging around here, John. You know, I thought it would be this way. That's why I prepared for it, John. Your own personal mojo, Doc. Bro, I don't have no Crawford voodoo doll. If he made a great decision, if he got a great fight, I would tell you got a great fight and made a great decision. If I don't see it like that, someone said Pacquiao mama. That's funny. If I don't see it like that, that's what I'm gonna tell you. Errol Spence, big fish. He got Ugas, big fish. Hey, stop that cap. That's the reality. I don't care if you cry in my comments, say, oh, this guy's really biased. Don't watch me. That's cool. Let's just agree to disagree. Don't watch my channel ever again. I'm good. I promise you. We got a great thing going here in a great community. If I'm not your cup of tea, awesome. Go find you a channel that works for you. But it's not going to stop my message. It's not going to stop my programming. And it's not going to stop my train of thought. If you would like to stop my train of thought, then you got to prove me wrong and enlighten me. Show me these business boss moves that Terrence Crawford is making that aligns him with the goals he's saying he wants. And then, maybe then, I'll change my mind. But if you can't do that, if all you got is, oh, Ego, you're hating on Crawford, then that's not good enough. I'm just going to remain steadfast in what I believe in, which makes a whole lot more logical sense than the stuff y'all saying. Trying to tell me Errol Spence Ugas is a bad fight. Ugas is the American dream coming off the best win of his career and a champion. What really separates Crawford having one belt and a lackluster welterweight resume and a one belt Ugas? Outside, once you get rid of the promoters and networks and stuff like that, what's the real difference? And y'all just told me earlier, Ugas got a better resume than Crawford. Bro, Ugas does have a better resume. He fought an earlier version of Sean Porter than the version Crawford just fought. So that gets a point to Ugas. Ugas fought Sean Porter in 2019 or whatever, 17, 18. So he fought a fresher Sean Porter and really beat him and didn't get the nod. He fought Omar Figueroa. He fought the Ramos dude, Jesus Ramos, who just beat Omar Figueroa after him. He beat Ray Robinson. Ray Robinson beat Terrence in the AMs, and Ugas beat Terrence in the AMs. So those are good fighters. Ray Robinson really beat Mean Machine, who Terrence Crawford fought in the very next fight. Y'all can't compete with me, bro. It is not even a competition. So if you want to disagree, you on your own, because you really have nothing to disagree with, because I know more about what I'm saying than you do. Y'all didn't even know some of these fights. Ray Robinson beat Terrence Crawford in the amateurs. Ray Robinson beat Josh Kelly, in my opinion, and they lied. And then Ray Robinson beat Mean Machine. Mean Machine's very next fight after the Ray Robinson fight was a long layoff and then Crawford. Ugas knocked out Ray Robinson. How are we gonna act like Ugas ain't that boy? Block PH cannabis. Yeah, you've been smoking a lot of that cannabis. How are we gonna act like he's not, like he's terrible and he got Pacquiao? Crawford don't have no Pacquiaos on his whole resume for a variety of different reasons. They couldn't get him to fight. So when you break it down, Ugas does have a better resume than Crawford. Point blank, period. And Thomas Delorme, he lost to both Crawford and he lost to Ugas. So that's a person that they got in common. Block PHZ. Get him out of here ASAP. Shout out to Charles Gray for subscribing. Business brain. But it's not even, bro, it's not even just the Pacquiao fight, really. Ugas fought Thomas Delorme and beat him. Terrence Crawford fought Thomas Delorme and beat him. Ugas got a stand-up resume regardless of the Pacquiao fight. I mean, you can't, of course, that's his best win, as I keep saying, but his resume is still nice even without the Pacquiao fight, because he fought a fresher Sean Porter and he really beat him. Right? He fought Abel Ramos, who's about to fight Jose Cito Lopez, beat him. He beat Mike Dallas Jr., who Matisse fought. What are we talking about? He beat the Wolf. Remember the Wolf, the hairy dude with Virgil, right? See, y'all, that's what I'm saying. Listen, I know y'all really don't know boxing like that. Bro, Butiev is fighting Stanionis, and Butiev just beat Jamal James. Ugas had already beat Jamal James. Y'all don't know boxing. Jamal James had a secondary belt and just now lost to Butiev, the guy who's fighting Stanionis. Ugas already beat Jamal James years ago. And Brian Peralta. Brian Peralta then moved up. Y'all don't, I promise you, you can't keep up. I promise you. And that's any Crawford fan, anybody, y'all can't keep up. I promise you that. Everything I'm saying is facts. Jamal James had a secondary belt at welterweight, just gave it up to Butaev, who's ranked and is fighting Stanionis on the undercard for Errol Ugas. Thomas Delorme, Crawford fought him, and then Ugas fought him after and beat him as well. So that's a guy they have in common. Sean Porter, Ugas fought him for, unlike the Delorme, where Crawford got Delorme first and then Ugas fought him after. Ugas got Sean Porter and beat him before Crawford just got him 3 weeks ago or whatever, a month ago. The Wolf dude was a ranked dude, the one that was working with Virgil. Ugas beat him. Brian Peralta, he's a good fighter. Follows me on Twitter. He works with Roy Jones. He moved up after Ugas beat him, you know, at a point in his career. He moved up and fought Tony Harrison in Tony Harrison's last fight, and he really beat Tony Harrison. And Ugas holds a win. So that just goes to show you that win for Ugas over Brian Peralta aged nicely, because it shows you that Brian Peralta is a good fight. He's a good fighter. Brian Peralta, look him up. He just fought Tony Harrison and he beat Tony Harrison. He really did, if you watch the fight, right? And they said it was a draw. So that's probably politics. So these are the guys that Ugas had already beat. So Ugas had some sturdy people. And then, like I said, Ray Robinson called out Crawford and says he beat Crawford in the AMs. Ugas beat him too by stoppage. And Ray Robinson had fought Mean Machine right before Crawford fought Mean Machine and got dropped by Mean Machine. This is all factual information. I'm Boxing's encyclopedia. So the only people who are going to deny it are people who are denying the truth, because this is literally what happened. And that's why you notice when the God of boxing talk, they deny it by deflection. They'll say, oh, Ego, stop hating on Crawford. Oh, you're a hater. But they can't compete with what I'm saying. That's the most important thing. Now, if you say, if I want to hate, I'm going to make stuff up like y'all do. That's how y'all hate. So that's what I would do. I'm not hating on Crawford. I'm not making stuff up about Crawford. I'm not giving Ugas credit for something he didn't. I'm not making up his resume. These are all like reputable things you guys can research on your own. Sam, what's up? But again, if you're not searching for the truth and you want to live in denial, then I'm sure you'll find a way to do that. Ugas took Jamal James's O. See, Kamal Oz with the alley-oop. So, and like, these are the realities though, bro. Josh Taylor at 140 fought a tougher 140 based on who was at 140 in his generation of being undisputed. These are the realities. Ugas called out Bud Crawford and said he's offering him a chance to redeem himself from the amateurs. Team Crawford said they weren't interested, so we know what time it is. I vaguely remember that. See? And now all the Crawford fans that didn't get their way because they thought they were going to corner Errol Spence or whatever they thought was going on, now they trying to slander Errol Spence Ugas. And it just makes you look salty because we know you're not going to tell me Ugas sucks and all that. It's not the case. And again, it begs the question, who on earth is Bud going to fight? All the top names at 147 and 54 are mostly with Al Heyman. Who is Bud going to fight? And it's funny that old media has all these high standards for PBC cards. Oh, I'm not paying Pitbull, Cruz, and Tank. But then the Art or Better Be of undercard was atrocious. But you guys got all these high hopes and standards for PBC undercards. Really weird. Josh Taylor at welterweight. I mean, I don't know. We have to wait and see. Is no telling. He got skills. So there's no telling. I don't know how his power transitions. You know what I mean? Because that alone, Danny Garcia, he seemed to have more power at 140 probably. So I don't know. I think he's good. I don't know if he beating Crawford, but you know, he nice. Anyway, stay tuned to the channel. That's my time. It's just, it's bad. It's a bad look because, you know, people are out here. Look at Kimber. Ego, if Errol Spence gets a third belt, yesterday's price is still gonna be today's prices. No, why would it? If you do more, look at Marcus the Villain. Look at what people are saying. Crawford's best win is Kenny Porter stopping Sean after a 450 plus day layoff, while Sean Porter's not known as an amazing boxer and was outboxing him. See? This is the reality, bro. Like, Bud's career is just played out like that, where it's like, you're not getting anybody. It's always some long layoff. And then you like, and part of it is probably your team. Bob Arum was saying he would only pay Sean Porter $1 million. Remember? He said, oh, I'll give him $1 million. And then Sean Porter's team was like, nah, we'll fight him, but not for no $1 million. So it's like, that's part, your team could have fought Sean Porter and cut that 450 day inactivity down, and then that would have made you look better. But at that time, Bob Arum said he wasn't coming out the piggy bank to give Sean Porter what he later gave him. You see what I'm saying? It's a mess. It's a mess, bro. It's a mess. So it's like these it's like small chips in the windshield. Eventually the windshield is going to shatter on you. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's small chips are a good thing or a bad thing. If the windshield is success and you do the small investments in chips, then that windshield going to shatter and then you have your gateway to success. But it can also work for bad, for bad things too. If you make a series of bad choices time and time again that aren't in your best interest, those bad choices add up. How do you think people get fat? It's the same thing. Series of bad choices, eating the wrong foods, fast foods, greasy foods, processed foods, time and time and time again, then you gain a pound. And then you keep doing that, you gain another pound, and so on and so forth. So that same person you went to high school with, they were skinny as a rail, now they big. Because they made a series of certain choices with their diet, usually. I know there's certain medical things that make people, medicines and stuff, make people gain weight, but I'm just saying in basic terms, a lot of times people end up eating, and you eat ice cream every day or whatever, go through a gallon, you're going to get bigger. It's that simple. Bud Crawford, he has yet to make the power moves that get him out of this predicament. I ain't seen it. If y'all seen it, y'all let me know. The money keep coming in. We got $10 from my boy Tucker Worthington. He said, "You are the best." I told y'all. I'm just here telling the truth. Appreciate you, Tucker. So it's like, is no one saying this stuff because everyone hates Bud. Get that out of your mind. I don't hate Bud. Most people that are saying this stuff don't probably hate Bud. Jesse says the ball is in Spence's hands. Absolutely. But the thing that should really scare you is people I'm telling y'all, some people just don't get it. I see people, they're leaving comments like, "Oh, yeah, okay, but after Errol Spence Ugas, then Errol got to fight Crawford." You still don't get it, bro. Nothing is going to necessarily happen on Crawford's dime, on his watch. I don't know. It's like, it's so exhausting. If Crawford does not make some power moves and a significant change in his previously noted thought processes that he's put out, I'm not hopeful that Errol Spence fight will happen. A fan sent him a reminder, said, "Hey, you said you wanted 60-40 for Errol Spence." Crawford says, "Yeah, what's changed?" If he thinks he's getting 40% or getting 60%, look. A fan said hold on. Crawford on fighting Spence, "I'm not fighting for 60-40. To which Crawford says, "Yeah, what changed?" What don't you understand, people? Someone reminded him, "Hey, you said you wouldn't fight Errol Spence unless you're getting 60-40 4 days ago." This is not like it's like an aged tweet. This is like 4 days ago. He said, "Look, Terrence Crawford, I'm not fighting for 60-40. And he says, what's changed 4 days ago?" Right? So, once again, you guys can, "Oh, yeah, after the Errol." I don't see it. Errol, if he beats Ugas, because if Errol loses to Ugas, there's really no point to talk about Errol Spence and Crawford at that point. So, presuming Errol Spence, the unified champion, gets through Ugas, which is not an easy fight, but let's just hypothetically play devil's advocate and say he does, Crawford is not in a position to demand more than Errol Spence. So again, you guys are going to continue to blame Errol Spence and say, "Oh man, he's messing up the pie and all that." Bro, what don't you get? Crawford is making demands that won't or can't or shouldn't be met. It's very simple. So again, until that changes from a business perspective, me just being realistic, I don't see Crawford Errol Spence happening unless he can come down on the demands. Kamal Oz says, what's the definition of insanity? B-side Bud's actions lead me to one conclusion. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting new results. Errol doesn't need him. He better get realistic. Errol Spence can fight Keith Thurman. That's a big fight, or he can move up to 54. Shout out to, listen, can y'all please put y'all claps up for Kamal Oz? Finally. Now I know that what I'm saying is not in vain because Ego's Army, there are people who get it. Can y'all please get some clap emojis for Kamal Oz? Always supportive, always dropping facts over y'all head. Can y'all please get some clap up emojis for Kamal Oz? Look at what he just said in that super chat. He spoke volumes. And let me piggyback off of Kamal Oz. He says very important thing here. And it's exhaustive trying to explain this stuff over and over, and boneheads act like they don't get it. But one thing Kamal Oz said that I definitely agree with, he says Errol got options. He can move to 54, which we know. He can fight Keith Thurman. It's no mystery that Keith Thurman and Mario Barrios was announced in the same time frame within a month of Errol Spence Ugas target date. Wow, what a concept. PBC working on their 2022 calendar, putting a headliner with a guy whose name has been linked with Errol Spence, who Errol Spence did demand and call out for a while, versus Mario Barrios. Wow, what a concept. So if Errol Spence, just look at how this is stacked up against Bud. And if you can't see this, then you're blind or you choose not to see it. Keith Thurman is a welterweight former champion. He's fighting February 5th on pay-per-view against Mario Barrios. Should be a great fight. Count me in. That's an option. The winner of that fight versus the winner of Errol Spence Ugas, right? They're all welterweights. If Mario Barrios pulls an upset, you got to give him respect. That's a former champion Thurman. So if Barrios wins, he's from San Antonio, Texas. Where's Errol Spence from? Oh, yeah, Dallas area, DeSoto, Texas. So that would be a big fight. Mario Barrios coming off a Keith Thurman upset, being a Texan and Mexican-American, and he did good numbers with Tank Davis. And if he beats Keith Thurman in an upset, boom, what do you know? You could do a Texas fight with Errol Spence and Barrios. Let's say Keith Thurman knocks out Barrios. Errol Spence and Keith Thurman has always been a conversation at some point. So they could fight. That'll be a significant win to break the dry spell inactivity for Keith Thurman. You can produce Errol Spence versus Keith Thurman, or if Errol Spence loses, you could do Ugas versus Keith Thurman, which is an amazing fight. Errol Spence Ugas, who did they have to get to step aside? Emanius Stanionis or whatever his name is. And the co-feature is supposed to be Stanionis versus Butayev. Oh, yeah, that's right. Two ranked welterweights who should be ranked number one, probably with the IBF after they fight. So PBC has a February Keith Thurman Barrios fight, which is a tough fight. Either guy would be a good fight for Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence Ugas co-features Stanionis and Butayev. So that right there opens up the market for players at welterweight outside of Crawford, who's in no man's land with, at the moment, no network he's tied to, no promoter, and his previous promoter, Bob Arum, is ishing on him. Unlike Canelo, you can't do Canelo things in free agency but not be Canelo. You guys see how this is starting to work? Canelo can move like he's doing because networks still believe that Canelo can produce numbers for them. And he has a sales history of Mayweather fight, Cotto fight, Triple G fights. So he has a way deeper sales history of producing bigger events. Terrence Crawford doesn't. So don't expect to do in free agency what Canelo is doing, because Canelo is one of those chess pieces. Now Canelo's not a pawn. He's one of those marquee chess pieces, the more important ones on the board, sales-wise. Bob Arum is telling the whole world you're a pawn on the chessboard in terms of your sales, not fighting ability, but sales. So if Crawford still thinks he's, in the driver's seat, then good luck to you. And like Kamal said, he can also go to 54. Say Crawford's not realistic, F him. I had 3 belts in the division. I'm going to give my body a rest. I'm moving to 54. And then what's Crawford going to do? What's Crawford going to do? I mean, so your whole legacy is defined by saying a guy ducked you? That puts you in the history books? You see what I'm saying? So it's a rough position. Crawford's in a rough position based on his business moves and how it's played out for him, period. Because like Kamal said, like I've been saying, I just named a series of fights that he can do, all independent. And then Jaron Ennis is ranked. So Errol Spence could really fight Jaron Ennis if he wants to. These are all mad, mad different avenues outside of Crawford. Meanwhile, Crawford get another year older. Where's his power move? When you ain't in the secret society, you know what I'm saying? What is Crawford gonna do? That's what I'm asking you. His biggest fights are 140 pounders, Zepeda, Josh Taylor, Regis Prograis, 140 pounders, or at best Virgil Ortiz. And I don't even know if Golden Boy wants to make that fight. I mean, I don't know, because they haven't made it this far. They might be building him up. So what does Crawford do if Golden Boy doesn't want to make it? He gonna fight Jaron Ennis? He gonna move up to 54 where there's no one for him to fight outside of PBC fighters to make big fights? He gonna fight Amir Khan, Kell Brook winner, and he already beat both of them? I mean, you tell me. He gonna fight Conor Benn, who ain't really beat nobody relevant, and Eddie Hearn wouldn't even make that fight because Conor Benn they're branding him, you know what I'm saying? So they're not finna just pull the trigger and make him fight a Crawford. Someone said Bud Gamboa too. I'm done. Bud Gamboa. So again, y'all can listen to me, or you can live in this fantasy world and tell me what is gonna happen and just continue being wrong. That's my time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I'll be back with some more heat. Deuces. Bud is at a crossroads. Absolutely. Smash the like button. I'm out.